He hails from London. He now calls Queensland's Gold Coast home. He is the man behind Expressions of Interest, the freshly released jazz album available now on iTunes. He is Daren Martin. Firstly, congratulations, Daren, on the release of the album. Tell us about the journey and how it came to fruition.
Well, basically, I was gigging and I was playing music, which was covers, John Coltrane, Miles Davis covers, and stuff like that. And yeah, I just got basically tired of playing that kind of music, and I felt the need to start doing my own stuff.
If you had to hashtag your music in 3 hashtags only, what would they be?
Smooth jazz, cool jazz, improvisation.
Why jazz? What's the attraction for you?
I think it's the improvisational element of it. You know, it's just you've got so much freedom to be able to express yourself, pretty much. That's probably the long and short of it, really. You know, just being able to get up and get a tune, what you know, and be able to stretch it and play with it, to do whatever you can, and you sort of like the only limits is your imagination, really. You know. So.
For me, your music is a real treat. It's a tool I can use to escape the daily grind. As someone who works in radio, I hear it all day, every day. So to be able to get into the car, pop on your CD, it can then just take me to a whole other place. Is it the same for you, or do you use other music genres to escape or to entertain yourself?
Yeah, it's funny, music, I find when I'm listening to music, I tend to be very analytical, so I don't really use it as an escape, you know, but if anything, it'd probably be classical to what I'd use, like listen to Beethoven and Chopin and stuff like that, and yeah, that probably just takes me away, really. You know.
You collaborated with Ashley Southam, the Melbourne-based composer, instrumentalist and vocalist, whose music's been compared to Jeff Buckley, Coldplay, Radiohead. Tell me what Ashley contributed to the album.
Experience first and foremost, you know, he's done a lot of stuff, you know, and that was an area I was lacking in terms of writing, and because I've never sort of done it myself, and yeah, and just I was very fearful of, because the saxophone's a melodic instrument and you can't play chords and stuff, just lacking on that side of it, and yeah, so because he was a keyboard player and a piano player, and yeah, and he had a lot of experience. Basically, I thought he could add more to it, you know.
I recently used Expressions of Interest at a dinner party to rave reviews, I might add. It just creates a mood. So how do you get your mind into that place to create?
It's very hard to say, really. It's just you're just trying to find things what interest you, you know, and trying to put across a feeling that you've got in your head, you know, and yeah, it's something that grows. It's not something that like this is how it's going to be. You start off with like a grain or a couple of notes which sound good, and then it just goes from there, really, you know.
Describe your influences. If I press play on your iPod, what would I hear?
You'd hear a whole array of things, really, you know. I mean, first and foremost, the artist I mentioned earlier, you know, the John Coltrane is, I think, any sax player. And then listening to classical music, like what I mentioned before, you know, them things touch on you when you're creating, you know. So.
And talk to me about the live music scene in Australia. Are we lacking something?
I don't think so. No, I mean it's quite. I mean, when you go down to Melbourne, it's absolutely fantastic. I mean, you walk down the street in Melbourne, everyone's carrying a music case, you know, going to gigs and stuff like that. It's a great feeling. I think on the Gold Coast, I think the issue is the array of. We've not got a sort of an array of different cultures like they have in Melbourne and stuff like that, you know, and it's a lot smaller as well. So I think for the size of what we've got here, it's not too bad, you know, but there's room to grow, definitely, you know.
When do you recall music becoming a part of your life? What's your earliest recollection of wanting to be a musician?
When I was at school, I always wanted to play music, and I didn't come from a musical background, but it was always a big part of I remember when I was young, I made a drum kit out of jam jars with little bits of plastic over the top of them, just stuff like that, you know. And but yeah, I started playing trumpet when I was a kid, and that because it was very boring. It was just when you were starting out, and it was trying to keep that interest going. And yeah, it was nothing I could sort of continue with. But sax was always something I wanted to get into, and just I didn't get the chance until I was sort of in my 20s before I started playing properly.
What are your goals as a musician over the next 12 months?
Just I've got another idea for two more albums I want to do. Hopefully within the next 12 months. We see how we go, you know. But pretty much that's it. Just making music as much as I can, really.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Again, just having a few more albums under my belt, and sort of like performing at bigger clubs and stuff like that. Just being a part of the big sort of worldwide jazz scene, hopefully.
Finish this sentence. I would be chuffed and know that I have arrived when...
My butler hands me a beer on my yacht. No, I think just like playing at the Blue Note or something in New York. That would be the ultimate goal for me. You know, one of the big jazz clubs in New York or something like that. You know. So.
Perfect. Well done to you, Daren. This truly is an album to be proud of. There's a time and a place for this album in everyone's collection. To add it to your collection, you need to go and visit iTunes. It's called Expressions of Interest. Of course, if you want more information, DarenMartinMusic.com. You can also sign up for some bonus tracks, some old favourites included. Otherwise, you can also follow him on Facebook and Twitter. Thanks a lot for your time, Daren. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you very much.